Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and today we have a little bit of an update for Pokemon Switch 2019 news, and it's mostly because the merchandise is starting to get a little sneaky, so let's keep an eye on that and see what happens. Also, we have this news coming from Poke Collective, the official Pokemon Information Bureau, so Poke Times, and then Project Eevee has kicked up again, so a couple things to keep an eye on now. So, Poke Collective, they are the new Poke Shopper. The news is not paywall gated with them, same leaks, same information that's kind of hard to find, but it's still out there and it's all compiled. So follow Poke Collective, keep an eye on the website for all of the news updates about that. So now we have the third set in Tomy Art's season series has been revealed. The summer set will be called Kirakira's Sunshine and is scheduled for August 2019. The news goes far, guys. We are already talking about August 20. We'll know so much about the new Poke. Can I just skip to that time? Maybe, actually, no, skip to E3. That's when things get cool. You know, we just need to, like, skip ahead about half a year, and then things are going to start getting exciting. But we already have, like, announcements for figures for lines. So that's something to keep up with. Contents haven't been announced yet. Just the name and release date so far. For more information on the merchandise in the upcoming summer months, check out this page. So we have the upcoming right there because someone asked, hey, where are the contents? We don't know. We don't know anything, so that means that summer line is going to be interesting to keep an eye on. Also, I found this pretty interesting from Poke Times. So there's going to be merchandise with plushes of all the fully evolved starter Pokemon being available soon. This is mostly what the video is about, because I was thinking about this. I was like, all right, so does this mean that the merchandise is going to get... We're going to finish up. You know, we've seen this wrap up before. We saw the wrap up with Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. All the Generation 7 stuff kind of coming to an end. Also, Pokemon Sun and Moon transitioning into Dusk Lycanroc. This is giving me those kinds of vibes right now, since it's like, oh, why are we suddenly just doing a mass launch of all the starters up until 7th generation, as we already have a confirmed new generation coming out. So it seems like the merchandise side might be another thing to keep an eye on when it comes to this as we get into that transition period. So this could maybe help us out with a bit of a time frame. Problem is, it's coming out late January. But my idea here is that we can use the merchandise to kind of get an idea of when we're not getting announcements, because it would be weird to kind of get the Generation 8 announcement, maybe see the first couple of starter Pokemon, and then have all of the other plushes released. I feel like you need to do it the other way. Get all the plushes out, you can set up that fandom, and then you can transition to where it's like, alright, now we're ready. We have all the starter Pokemon taken care of, boom, going into it, Generation 8, get ready for the reveal, and then get ready for all the crazy stuff in the next couple months. And then with that, Project Eevee is back. The 2019 Project Eevee Twitter is a new system to deliver goods and information about Eevee. So it has been rebranded for Eevee Merchandise. And then we get our first thing about Eevee merchandise. Alright, cool. And then we get more about Eevee merchandise. So the Eevee merchandise thing is coming through. Old Project Eevee was mostly about like the mascot costumes and promoting Eevee and Pokemon, and then going into Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Project Eevee was really interesting because after the announcement of Pokemon Let's Go, it feels like it didn't really have a crazy amount of significance because it wasn't there to release anything. It was just that the existence of Project Eevee from the start of 2018 was like, why are they pushing Eevee to be a mascot so much? Oh, now there's this rumor on 4chan about Pikachu and Eevee being the mascots for the next versions, and all of this was starting to build up. So, like, Project Eevee was mostly used as, like, a backdrop to kind of see, like, okay, Project Eevee's tweeting about Pikachu, Junichi Masuda's tweeting about Pikachu and Eevee, we have this rumor going around on 4chan, and then we use that to piece everything together. Now, when it comes to merchandise, we already have, like, our merchandise stuff through Poke Collective, and I don't know if Eevee is really going to break any kind of news. It seems like they do have it with the product announcements, like, hey, first product Eevee, boom, done, just like that. Then some other things that are going to be going down. So it might go into something, but I don't know if it's going to have too much significance. However, Eevee staying as a merchandise line, does that mean we're still looking at evolution potential for the upcoming game? I don't think it's going to be released through Project Eevee, but that would be pretty interesting and something to keep an eye on, because it's all about Eevee. Eevee's awesome. The evolutions get tons of merch anyways, so something to keep an eye on. And then Poke Collective is kind of keeping us updated with what's been going on over the last week or so, and we have some more products, but this one is going to be about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So we have the Lunala form, we got the Solgaleo form, we also have the Pokemon that are used in the anime as a part of like the Aether Foundation Super Ultra Beast Squad, and then we just got some other Pokemon being represented. No mysteries, nothing new here, so just kind of like standard product merchandise, which makes sense. So we have like one little tease that's seeming to be revealed by April. And then what? So this goes back to my other video, like, what is this new Pokemon going to be? Is that going to be the announcement of Generation 8? Is it going to be one Pokemon? Like we saw, well, actually, one Pokemon's more Generation 5. Is it going to be no Pokemon, similar to Pokemon Generation 7? Or is it going to be all the starters like Generation 6? So there's been all kinds of weird reveals and stuff like that. Also, going back to the starter Pokemon plushes. Pokemon Center update. New posable starter evolution plush will be available beginning January 26th. At Japan's Pokemon Centers. Alola starters are re-releases, but all the others are brand new plushes. So even then, they're re-releasing the Alolan starter for that 7th generation, so taking the new generation, revamping it with everything else as we transition into Generation 8. I really think that that's why it's something to keep an eye on. And January 26th. So I don't feel like there's any kind of build-up. You know, it feels like it's really quiet right now. Dropping something in the middle of the month doesn't really make sense. Like, it's either going to be start of the year, or maybe closer to the anniversary of Pokemon, much like we have with Pokemon Sun and Moon. I don't know if they like the way that release went, so they're going to do it again, or if Game Freak's going to surprise us, or if it's going to be an even later release than that. I don't know. I feel like the Pokemon community is really struggling. Pokemon is very, very down right now. No engagement. No one's hype about anything, so a really good PR move would be to kind of get us excited about the game we thought we were getting a year ago, or something like that. Then we just have some like really cool art, general merchandise updates like that. And yeah, there's all kinds of things that are always coming out, so we're just trying to keep an eye on that to see when there's new stuff and things like that. Got some evolutions, got some Eevee, got some Kanto. There's a little bit of everything right now, and that brings us to what you might have seen down here. Ooh, we have a mystery. Wait up. Oh, that's just Lana's Eevee. So much like with this, we have Eevee, anime version, Lana's Eevee. Lana's Eevee, getting more merchandise. This makes me really feel like that secret Pokemon that we've heard about for a while. I think it's the Bandai Mystery April Kids figurine. I really feel like that's going to be a new evolution based off Lana's Eevee. And I think that, like, if we watch this, because, like, why is it getting, like, so much press and, like, secret? It's like, ooh, Lana's Eevee is going to be cool for one of these merchandise. Note that these figures by Tomy Arts are different from the remint desk normal figures. The remint figures are larger, more expensive, sold in blind boxes as opposed to Gachapon machines. So that's that, and then the Meltan merchandise, and that just kind of goes back into all the other things. You know, we have general Eevee merchandise, so it's kind of one of those things. Like, now, a new evolution is also very hard to predict, because it makes sense, and I didn't bring this up in my other video, because I'm not a super big person when it comes to trends with Game Freak. People are like, oh, every even generation has had new evolutions introduced, so Generation 8 makes sense. That's also the same argument people were using before Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Like, hey, or even with Pokemon well, maybe, I don't know, it's like Generation 8, we were expecting a new evolution. New evolutions are always cool. But now that we have, like, the Project Eevee Twitter, it's like, is it just going to be Eevee? Eevee's the mascot. The Let's Go Eevee doesn't evolve. Is it just going to be cute Eevee stuff forever because Eevee's awesome, and then maybe just a little bit of evolutions because the evolutions still make sense, but they still don't get played up as much as Eevee. Except for maybe Sylveon. Sylveon tries to, like, you know, take the spotlight because it's fabulous like that. So there's a couple things to keep an eye on. So it's like, we have all this Eevee stuff. Does that just go in line with Project Eevee and trying to use the mascot? Or is it, again, building up like, hey, we're getting all this Eevee hype, boom, another evolution, crowd goes wild, and that's going to be the first Pokemon reveal with Generation 8, maybe the graphics, and then that could be around March? Hopefully late February, maybe even sooner? But it seems like that's kind of how it goes. Like, maybe if we're basing off of that, because then this is the new thing that we have. We have all of these figures already in. We have Lana's Eevee, we're already dealing with Meltan, and then we still have a mystery right there. So Pokemon A is still a mystery, as well as the 15th special figure. We don't even know what the 15th special figure is dealing with, but this kind of covers all the bases. This covers Let's Go, the brand new mythical Pokemon, and then legendary Pokemon, so Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon take care of, Necrozma, all that fun stuff. So now we're just kind of like in this position. It's how you look at it, you know, is it going to be the starter Pokemon reveal? If it is, looks like we're going to have to wait until a little later, which is going to be, it feels like it would have to be after January, like after this product launches, and then a little bit of time to breathe, you know? Not just be like, we're launching these products, we're putting all the starter Pokemon back into the spotlight, boom, suddenly Gen 8. You know, I feel like, you know, it's kind of like, hey, let's remember all the starter Pokemon, let's kind of tie everything together before we overload with a brand new generation of Pokemon. Kind of how I feel about it. And then Eevee's, the evolution line is like, all right, if Lana's Eevee does evolve, does it tie in line with the 15th of, or not the 15th, but, you know, the April figurine, which means merchandise is usually a little after, or also we get the reveal because that's when it's being released. So hopefully, like, we'll actually get the either teaser, like another teaser about it, or we'll actually be able to see what that figure is a few weeks before then, which means the announcement is a few weeks before then. And I feel like maybe a mid-March. You know, it's either early January, late February, or mid-March. Feels about right for, like, the windows of announcing a new Pokemon game. And then that means April's probably not going to have much. May might be a little bit building into E3. June, July, August, September, October, November, tons of information. Now, one thing to remember about the Pokemon Switch 2019 games is that they were announced to be for the second half of 2019. So there was optimism to get these games out earlier than expected. However, that was delayed to now the last quarter of 2019. But October is still on the table. We saw that with Pokemon X and Y. Now, I'm wondering, like, what that means, because Pokemon X and Y, it was released a month, or not released, announced in January, so a month before we had Pokemon Sun and Moon. And then it was released a month earlier. Now, if this is released a month later, I'm not saying that, you know, March equals December, but what happens if we get a March announcement and then an October release? All that information of the new generation is going to be compressed more than we've seen for any other games. I might be okay with that. I'm okay with waiting an extra month. And then if the game is going to release earlier, so that means we're just going to get non-stop news about the games, and then we're going to have more time to enjoy it until, like, holiday season, other games take over, and then hopefully we can survive the New Year's transition. Because it seems like the trend with all the recent Pokemon games is that after winter break, you know, people are done with it. They get back into school, they completely bury Pokemon, that's it, GG. You know, Omega Ruby Now Sapphire, that game had a lifespan of 3 months. Sun and Moon, 2 months. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, didn't even make it to January. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee also feels about the same, because, like, I don't know, the game's incredible, but people hate it for absolutely no reason. So that's kind of it. Just things to keep an eye on, things to remember, and then we're going to see what happens. I think January might be out for now, and then we just have to see, like, what else starts building up, because the mystery that we've been dealing with for a while. So yeah, that April mystery is just kind of, like, making me feel a little, you know, it's like, I don't want my bias to be like, let's ignore April and then try to make it as soon as possible. Like, that's what my bias wants. My bias wants the announcement tomorrow. I wake up, I see Pokemon Company tweets, get ready, trainers, 2 days from now, we're gonna have the new Pokemon game announcement. Or, like, wake up Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. Pacific time for an all-new Pokemon Direct. You know, I'm waiting for that, but at the same time, it's like, we might be a bit more realistic, because Game Freak's wild, and the new game, we know it exists. We've already had a decent amount of information about it. Game Freak's acknowledged it back in 2018, so maybe they're just going to be okay with waiting on that. So, guys, enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.